Parker Schnabel is chasing a record in season 16, and he's not pretending otherwise.
He's going all into pouring money into new machines, expanding his operation, and pushing harder than any year before. The young mining boss isn't shying away from big risks or big investments, and nothing proves that more than the arrival of his newest weapon at Sulfur Creek, a massive 550 excavator built to tear into the earth and keep his gold totals climbing.
The morning the new excavator arrived at Sulfur Creek, the entire atmosphere on the claim felt different.
Even before Parker Schnabel showed up, his crew stood around the towering 550 machine like mechanics admiring a freshly unwrapped race car.
When someone called out, "Boom up a little bit," the arm lifted with smooth, effortless precision, the hydraulics responding the way only brand new equipment can.
There were no groans, no leaks, no sluggish movements, just the crisp, confident strength of a machine that hadn't yet lived a hard day in the Klondike. Parker was already on the road, calling in over the radio that he was heading over from Dominion Creek to see his newest investment in person. He joked that this was the true perk of running a dirt-moving operation, getting to unbox a brand new machine capable of moving literal mountains.
For a miner who lives and breathes production, few things are more thrilling than watching a fresh piece of iron make its first cut into the earth.
This season, Parker is working with a momentum he hasn't felt in years.
Dominion Creek has already delivered strong early gold, giving him the kind of start most miners can only dream of. But Parker isn't one to settle.
The success at Dominion has only sharpened his appetite for more, pushing him toward the unpredictable but potentially lucrative grounds at Sulfur Creek, a place famous for producing gold so rich old miners once claimed they could pick nuggets straight off the creek bed.
He knows that much of the ground was dredged decades ago, leaving behind only slivers of untouched pay. But that's exactly where Parker sees opportunity. If anyone can find what the old-timers left behind, it's him and his crew. The excavator he chose for this challenge isn't just powerful, it's overbuilt for the job.
Parker ordered it with oversized buckets, massive scoops capable of biting deeper and faster than anything his team has ever run on this claim.
It's a risky move, especially on a machine this size, but Parker thrives on calculated risks. And as soon as the excavator started swinging, it became clear that the gamble had paid off. The huge bucket tore into the pit with a kind of hunger, peeling away the earth in huge sheets and throwing them onto the growing stockpile with almost arrogant ease. When Parker finally rolled up to Sulfur Creek, he paused in front of the excavator, studying the way it moved. Wide, stable, impossibly clean and unmistakable upgrade from the battered machines they usually rely on. The fresh iron seemed to ignite a spark in him. He knew instantly that this was the kind of muscle he needed to bring Sulfur Creek online fast. And speed was suddenly everything. The water license at Sulfur Creek was running out, ticking down day by day. If the renewal paperwork didn't clear in time, the entire operation could grind to a halt.
Other miners had already been crippled by permit delays this year, forced to sit helplessly as the season slipped away.
Parker refused to let Sulfur Creek become another cautionary tale. He wanted the pay dug, the stockpile built, and another wash plant running before time ran out. But Sulfur Creek wasn't going to make anything easy.
Up the valley, Mitch Blaschke and Brennan Ruwalt had been battling a narrow, stubborn cut carved into the bank.
It was the kind of ground that looked promising but fought them every inch of the way. The deeper they dug, the more groundwater bled into the pit, transforming the dirt into a thick, unforgiving muck. Trucks slipped in the mud. Buckets filled with sticky clay. Every haul took twice as long as it should have. The arrival of the new 550 excavator changed the tone of the entire fight. Its wider stance handled the soft ground better than their older equipment, and its oversized bucket pulled huge loads of muck and pay alike without slowing. It turned brutal, wet, miserable digging into something almost manageable. With every swing, the machine seemed to claw back precious minutes from the season's shrinking timeline. Parker stood watching as the crew loaded truck after truck, each run bringing Sulfur Creek closer to becoming a fully operational site. But even as he admired the machine's power, the weight of his decisions pressed against him. Dominion Creek was performing exceptionally well, and shifting resources to Sulfur Creek risked slowing down a sure thing. Yet ignoring Sulfur Creek meant walking away from a claim with a legendary reputation and possibly leaving massive gold in the ground. Parker Schnabel has never hesitated to roll the dice in pursuit of gold, but in Gold Rush Season 16, he has entered a level of spending even his crew wasn't prepared for. The numbers are staggering. On a typical day, Parker spends around $100,000 just on base operational costs, fuel, parts, staff, and running multiple sites. But that's only part of the picture. When factoring in acquisitions, equipment purchases, and other large expenses, his total daily outlay jumps dramatically, reaching $200,000 to $250,000 per day. For anyone else, such figures would be terrifying. For Parker, it's the engine that drives his crew forward. He sees the massive spending not as a burden, but as motivation. Every dollar burned becomes a challenge, a push for the team to stay sharp and perform at the highest level. The pressure of handling hundreds of thousands of dollars each day has become a part of the company culture, attracting people who thrive under high stakes and rewarding those who take responsibility personally. Despite the enormous sums, Parker doesn't dwell on the cost. He focuses on results, making sure there's always enough money to keep operations running while chasing the payoff he knows is possible in a season like this. The pressure, instead of intimidating him, fuels his drive. He enjoys the challenge of running a massive operation at such high cost, confident that the investment will pay off in gold. Season 16 is shaping up to be one of the most expensive, high-risk, and ambitious campaigns Parker Schnabel has ever undertaken. Spending up to $250,000 a day isn't just a headline figure, it's the reality of running a top-tier Klondike mining operation. And for Parker, every cent is worth it if it leads to more gold flowing through his sluices. At first, the numbers sounded astonishing even to the mining world. Parker's basic daily operating costs hovered around $100,000, a figure that would make most business owners lose sleep. But that wasn't the real total. Once he factored in those extra expenditures that come with expanding a mine, acquiring new gear, mobilizing equipment, hauling, parts, freight, and the financial bruises that come from running multiple sites at once, the daily cost skyrocketed into the $200,000 range. Some days, the burn rate approached $250,000. In any other industry, spending that kind of money every single day would terrify even the boldest boss. But Parker wasn't shaken. Not even close. Instead, the pressure pushed him forward. He saw the massive expenses not as a threat, but as fuel, something that forced his team to perform, sharpen, and stay laser-focused. He believed that the right type of people thrive under high stakes, and he's built his crew around that philosophy. Many of the miners who work with him handle the financial pressure like a personal challenge, treating every dollar spent as a reason to work harder. The company culture has evolved into one built on responsibility, confidence, and the sense that the entire season could swing on the choices they make each day. For Parker, the financial stress barely registers anymore. He doesn't obsess over the numbers or panic when the weekly totals climb into the millions. He sees it as part of the job, his job. As long as the bank accounts stay full enough to keep the fuel flowing and the bills paid, Parker is content to keep pushing the throttle. In fact, he admits he enjoys it. The adrenaline of big spending, the pressure of keeping the operation afloat, the thrill of watching huge investments transform into massive gold hauls, it all drives him. The higher the stakes, the more alive he feels. This season, that mindset has become the heart of his entire mining campaign. Parker is spending like never before, betting everything on the belief that bold moves lead to big wins. Every early morning warm-up, every load of pay dirt, every new machine rolling onto the claim is a reminder that Parker Schnabel isn't afraid to gamble and that he intends to make Season 16 one of the most explosive and profitable seasons of his career. Whether the payoff matches the spending remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. Parker Schnabel isn't holding anything back, and the gold-rich ground of the Klondike will have to decide whether to reward or punish his most expensive gamble yet.